Good morning, grade fives. Okay, it's me Maluleke again. I hope you guys had a wonderful rest yesterday, and I hope you guys are well and you're safe at home. So I'm going to take you for grade five maths, and for those that still don't know, we have moved on to Teams. We've been using Zoom all along, so now we are using Teams. And then we no longer have the option of you guys be unmuted and ask questions, but then we have an option of Q&A. So if you have a question, you can leave your question on Q&A, on question and answer. And then there are times where I'm going to ask you I would like you guys to answer on the Q&A, and then if you want me to repeat something, just in case maybe I went too fast for you, you can also leave it on the Q&A, and then I'll readdress that. So those that have been with us, they know that we are doing common fractions, and we've actually covered quite a lot on common fractions. So I'll just do a recap of what we've covered so far. So in the beginning of common fractions, we spoke about what a fraction is, and then we spoke about what makes a fraction. We said that a fraction is made of a numerator and a denominator. And then we also pointed out that a denominator is the number that is at the bottom of a fraction. So a fraction is made up of two parts. So the denominator is the bottom part, and then we say the numerator is the top part. So I just want to bring everyone abreast up until now, especially those that joined maybe a couple of days before. So if you've been here, take this as your revision. I'm just recapping. So this is a recap of what we've covered on common fractions so far. So we said that is a fraction, and then we said the line that divides a fraction is actually a division line, or we can call it a fraction line, and it acts as a division line. And then we went on to talk about different kinds of fractions, if you still remember, and we said we have three different kinds of fractions that we're going to look at in grade 5. The first fraction is the proper fraction, and then we said in a proper fraction the numerator is smaller than the denominator. And then examples of proper fractions are 1/2, 1/3, 1/4, 1/5. Those are examples of proper fractions. And then we also spoke about an improper fraction, and we said in an improper fraction, now instead of the numerator being smaller than the denominator, in an improper fraction the numerator is bigger than the denominator. And then these examples include 7/3, 4/2, 5/4, 10/7. And then we said the value of an improper fraction is always more than 1. So an improper fraction always can be converted to a mixed fraction. And then the proper fraction, its value is less than 1. So if we have a number line from 0 till 1, a proper fraction, we can find it between 0 till 1, but an improper fraction, we find it after 1 whole. And then we also spoke about a mixed fraction, and we said that a mixed fraction is a fraction that is made of a whole and a fraction. We also looked at equivalent fractions, and then we said that in an equivalent fraction, we can use a fraction wall, and then it was displayed, and then I showed learners how we can manipulate, we can use the fraction wall. And we also did yesterday, now we did comparing fractions. So we used a number line, we used diagrams, and we also used a fraction wall to compare fractions. So that is me bringing you abreast to what we have covered so far on the common fractions, which brings us to today's lesson. We're almost done with the common fractions. We are finishing it on Thursday. Okay, so today's lesson, grade 5, we are looking at addition and subtraction of fractions with same denominators. In fractions, this is the easiest you can get. This is the easiest topic that you can get. So let's look at the success criteria. What is it that you'll know by the end of the lesson? Okay, so when I did a recap, I was moving a little bit too fast because it was a recap. But now this is today's actual lesson. So by the end of the lesson, you will know the rules of adding and subtracting fractions. Remember, maths is about rules. You cannot just do things as you think we should do them. So you know the rules of adding and subtracting fractions, and then you also know that when we add or subtract fractions with the same denominator. And then for someone who had forgotten what a denominator is, that is the number at the bottom of the fraction. So when we add or subtract fractions with the same denominator, we do not add or subtract denominators. So we do not add or subtract denominators. You'll see what I mean by that. And then you also know that when we add or subtract fractions, we only add or subtract the numerators. That is rule number 2. So we only add or subtract fractions. When we add or subtract fractions, we only add or subtract the numerators. The numerator is a top number on a fraction. And then you're also going to know how to represent addition and subtraction of fractions in a diagram. So you also know how to represent addition and subtraction of fractions in a diagram. And then lastly, you're going to know how to add or subtract fractions without using diagrams. Remember, I said you guys are now you're still in grade 5, so it is very important that we use concrete manipulatives. So what I mean by concrete manipulatives, remember in grade 1 when maybe your teacher said 2 plus 2, and then your teacher said you can take 2 marbles and then another 2 marbles, or whether it's cubes or whatever that you use, and then you physically touch them and you see them. So now, because on fractions, unfortunately I don't have oranges and whatever, but I have diagrams for you. So maybe if this was a normal class, we'll have brought some oranges, some apples, and we cut them so that you see when you add. But then this does not limit you to not doing that. Even as you eat your bread today, take that slice of bread and then you equally cut it either into 4 or into 5 or into 8. So whatever you eat, your parents shouldn't beat me up. You should cut it so that you understand fractions, but you should be careful with the knife. So now, addition of fractions using diagrams. So for you to understand the addition of fractions, you should first be able to represent them in a diagram. So always I love giving examples of, if it's a circle, I love saying it's a cake, because yes, we did say yesterday, I saw people were answering me that they love the toffee cakes, and some of you love the caramel cakes. So that's why you'll see I always give practical examples so that you can relate, because maths, remember, have to make sense. So I cannot just talk abstractly and say 2/6, not giving you a practical example. So representing fractions in a diagram, if you can see here at the bottom here, I gave you 2 fractions, and obviously we have to get the sum. So the sum is 2/6 plus 2/6. I know for some of you, you got it already in grade 4, and you can easily say what the answer is. And then remember, we are in different kind of levels. We have different teachers. We're coming from different schools. So what you think you are, or what you may know best, someone in another school or someone might not have understood it. So that is why I'm taking it from representing a fraction in a diagram. So it might look like maybe it's easier for you. Just take it as revision if it is easier for you. So here we come. So here is 2/6 plus 2/6, and then you can see I gave you fractions, or I gave you diagrams that are not shaded. But then what is it that you notice? You can see that this circle or this cake is cut into how many pieces? Into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then here, that is where you have to do your addition. And then here you have to write the answer. So which makes me move on to the next step. So what I did, 2 over 6, you see, I shaded it and I used yellow to show that I am representing the first fraction, which is 2 over 6. And then it's plus 2 over 6 again. And then I used a different color paint to show that this is the second fraction. And then thereafter, if we add 2 plus 2 is going to give us, so we come here on the fraction, on the answer, so you're going to combine them. So we add them and we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that is the numerator. Check what happens. Did anything happen to the denominator? You see, our denominator is still the same. So if we had a misconception of thinking maybe we say 2 plus 2 to get 4 and then 6 plus 6 to get 12, we do not do that. So we only add the numerator, which is 2 plus 2 to get 4. And how do we represent that in a diagram? So you shade 2 and 2 using different color pen, and then on the answer here, you see our whole is still divided into 6, so it did not become 12. So that is the misconception that most learners have at your level. So the answer is 4 over 6. And then we also look at another different denominator, addition using fractions. And then we are representing the fractions in a diagram. So you are going to, in your assessments, you are going to get these questions. Believe you me, your teacher will tell you, calculate this fraction. Now the fraction is 1/8 plus 4/8. And then they will say, represent it in a diagram. That is going to come, believe me or not. In grade 4, in grade 5, we are big on diagrams because we want to see if you understand the whole concept of fractions. So this is going to come, so you can just note it down. It's going to come on your assessment, on your test. So now the first fraction we can see here is divided into 8. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 8. So what are we adding? We are adding 1 over 8 plus 4 over 8. So the first part here you are going to shade, and then the second part of your fraction of your diagram, that is where you represent your answer. So the 1/8 and the 4/8, you have to represent it in here using different color pencils. So if you don't have different color pencils, you can use a pattern. So for 1 over 8, you can maybe do the zigzag. And then for 4 over 8, so for 1 over 8, you're going to shade only one or draw a pattern for only one. And then for 4 over 8, you choose another pattern just to show your teacher that you understand the difference and you also understand what you are doing. So what I did, because I had colors, I used colors. So you can see 1 over 8, I used this color, I think it's burgundy. So I used the burgundy color. And then for 4 over 8, you see I used green. So you can see the burgundy is only, I shaded one part of it, and then green, I shaded 4 parts. And then what I'm going to do at the end, I'm going to calculate and add them together, and then I use the blue to show my final answer. And then you can see it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have represented it in a diagram. Can you see that? Okay, so before I move on, I'm going to check if we have any questions. Okay, I see there is no questions. All right. I'll go back to the presentation. So I hope so far people understand, because if you have questions, then now I don't see any questions. So it means people haven't asked anything. So I'll take it as people understand. All right, and then we move on. See, we're still now doing addition, but then we are using different denominators. I just want to drive home the point of the denominator does not change. So you still get the same thing, 2 over 12 plus 8 over 12. So these sums, you're also going to get them on Platinum and Viva and Head Start if you're using those textbooks. So here, 2 over 12, you can see I chose green to represent it. So how many pieces did I shade? I shaded 1, 2, and then plus 8 over 12, and I used gray, and I shaded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then on the second circle here, you will see that I then wrote the answer, and then I shaded the answer. So obviously, I'm sure by now you can see that 2 plus 8 gives us 10. So in your diagram, you have to have 10 shaded pieces. So we can see it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you can also write it as 10 over 12. So that is how we use. So there I used what did I used circles, and then it's not always when you have to use circles. I know that maybe you guys don't know how to draw. Maybe if you don't have 5 friends, because I know most of you love using the 5 friends, or you love using your glue cap to draw the circles. But what if you don't have the 5 friends or the glue circles for you? I mean the glue caps to draw your circles, because you guys are not using protractors. Okay, so we do not only represent fractions in a circle, we can also represent it. I think this is easier. You can use a ruler to draw these ones. Just make sure on your ruler you measure your parts equally. Same applies to the circle. So you measure your parts equally. So you see if you decide to use the rectangles, you divide them. So you look at, let's look at the sum. The sum is 1, okay, it's 2/5 plus 1/5. So what you're going to do, you take a ruler and then you're going to draw a nice triangle like I have here. So you draw a nice triangle like I have, and then you divide your rectangle, you divide your rectangle into 5 equal parts. And then after you have divided your rectangle into 5 equal parts, you then look at the first sum. So the first sum is 2/5 or 2 over 5. So remember, 5, the denominator tells us into how many pieces the rectangle is supposed to be divided into. I'll repeat. So you will take a ruler and then you draw a rectangle and then you cut it. You look at the denominator. On number 1, the denominator is 5. So 5 tells you that you have to cut your rectangle into 5 equal pieces. After you are done cutting your rectangle into 5 equal pieces, and then you check the first sum. So the first sum is 2 over 5. 2 means that you have to shade 2. Every time when you see a fraction and then the question is represented in a diagram, the numerator, the numerator means that you have to shade those parts. So on number 1, the numerator is 2, so it means that we must shade 2. And then plus, we are adding to 1/5, so it means we must shade another 1. So you see, if I shade 2 and I shade 1, and then I add them together, I'm going to get 3/5. So that is the first one. Number 2, you check again the denominator. Our denominator is 3. So what does the denominator tells us? It tells us that we must divide the whole into 3 equal parts. So this now should be automatic, because we've been talking about it and trying to reinforce it. So the denominator is 3. So we draw our rectangle and we cut it into 3 equal parts, as we did there on number 2. So you see this rectangle is cut into 3 equal parts. After you have achieved that, you then come to your sum and you check. We are adding 1, so it means you must shade 1, plus 1/3, we must shade another 1. And then we count how many parts are shaded. It's 1, 2 parts are shaded over 3. So that is the answer there. And then number 3, we do the same thing. You draw your rectangle using a ruler, please, and a pencil. And then our denominator there is 8. So what does that mean? it means that our whole has to be divided into 8 equal parts. So if you use the ruler, every ruler have got, which is our next topic, I will show you how to use a ruler. Every ruler have got centimeters and millimeters. So if you are making your parts to be 2 centimeters, so which means you're going to make each and every part, you're starting from 0, this will be 0, 2, and then 4 you mark it, 6 you mark it, 8 you mark it, 10 you mark it, like that. So we divide our whole into 8 equal parts, and then we go back and check the sum. Now we have dealt with the denominator, we are fine, we know our denominator is 8. Then we have 4 over 8, so this means that you must shade 4. So we shaded 4 with blue, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then plus 3 over 8, so this means we must shade 3. And then as you can see, 1, 2, 3 are shaded, and then you add the total shaded. So the total shaded is 7, and then we can represent it like that, or we can write it as 7 over 8. And then number 4 is 2 over 7 plus 3 over 7. By now, I know some of you are saying, yes, ma'am, we know we have to divide the rectangle into 7 equal parts. You are right, because the denominator tells us we have to divide it into 7 equal parts. Then you do the same thing that you did on number 1, 2, 3. You shade 2 because the first sum is 2 over 7, and then you go on to shade 3, and then 2 plus 3 gives us 5. And then what if we are adding more than 2 fractions? So it's possible you do the same thing. Even if we're adding more than 2 fractions, what we have to do, we still have to check our denominator. So our denominator is divided into 10. So you have to cut 10 equal pieces, and then you come to the denominators. On the first one you shade 2, on the second one you shade 4, on the third one you shade 3, and then thereafter you count how much total did you shade, and then it's 9 out of 10. As you can see, if you cut it into 10 and then you shaded, you only have 1 that is not shaded. So that is another way of adding fractions using diagrams. And then when it comes to subtracting fractions, the same method we use to add, that's the same way we subtract fractions. So the only difference that is going to be now is, so you can see here, the sum is 4 over 5 minus 3 over 5. So here it means first you have to shade 4, and then because I was using a computer, it didn't allow me to use another color over the other one. But then when you're at home, you can, the first one that you have to shade is the first number, the bigger number. So you'll shade 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you take a different color pencil, and then you shade, it's minus 3, so we remove it. It's unfortunate we cannot erase, or maybe if you can use a pencil, you can erase. So after shading 4, we have to erase 3. So I didn't want to erase it here, otherwise you're only going to see 1. So when you have erased 3, so I shaded, remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, and if I erase 3, I'll erase 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to be left with 1. So even in subtraction, we can still represent subtraction in diagrams. So whether we're adding fractions or we are subtracting fractions, we can still represent them in diagrams. I hope it was clear. This is the easiest topic on fractions that you'll ever get. Okay, so now we're coming to activity time. I really hope that you guys have seen, even if you don't see this division line, if you go to your tablet or whatever, what you're using a computer, you see there is a slash. So I know your answer should be a fraction. So you can say 4 over the over, which is the slash. A slash is like that, and then over 7, and you write the answer like that. So we'll do the first 2 together, and then 3 and 4, you are going to do it, and then I'll check the answers. So number 1, now we're now adding without using diagrams, because in grade 6, that is what you guys are going to do, and next day you guys are in grade 6. So I have to give both the methods to you guys. So add the fractions below. Number 1 is 2 over 5 plus 1 over 5. So always in an assessment, grade 5s, your teacher wants to see the working. I'm sure your teacher, they always say, show your working, calculate, show the working. So the working, yes, you know that 2 over 5 plus 1 over 5, you know that the answer is 3 over 5. But then you might lose points or you might lose marks if you do not show the working, because your teacher wants to see that you didn't guess, you actually know what you are doing. So as you can see here in the middle part, so this is the working that the teacher will be talking about. So the denominator remains the same, which is 5. So you can see I said equals to, denominator is still 5. And then what do you do to the numerator? So you say on top 2 plus 1 and then equals to 3 over 5. So this is the working that your teacher will be talking about. And then number 2, 1 over 3 plus 2 over 3. First thing that you must write is the denominator because it does not change. And then the working is 1 plus 2. See, you write on top 1 plus 2 equals to 3 over 3. Why do you write the working? We have in maths, when we mark as teachers, we have what you call applying CA. So if say you say it's Pearl here, I hope she's here today, and Praise, and I miss you guys, the Zammers, and unfortunately I can't see who's here, but I miss you guys. All right, so if you say 1 plus 2 and then you come here and say equals to 4 over 3, because you have shown this working, your teacher will give you a mark, because your teacher saw that you actually wanted to say 1 plus 2, you've written 1 plus 2, maybe you miscalculated and you got 4 over 3. So you're going to get 1 mark. So if the sum is worth 2 marks, it means that you're going to get 1 mark here. And if you said 4 over 3 here, you're going to lose that 1. But at least you would have had 1 mark. Do you understand, grade 5s? So say then you didn't do any working and then you said 1 over 3 plus 2 over 3 and you said equals to, so you jumped this working out stage and then you said equals to 4 over 3. What your teacher sees is 4 over 3 and you're going to lose marks because the answer is not 4 over 3. So it's important that you have the steps, and then your teacher will say, oh, okay, so she knew that she had to add 1 plus 2, and then you see the 1 mark. So even though this sum was worth 2 marks, you are going to get that 1 mark. That is why it is very important to show all the working out in maths. And then, okay, let's come back to the sum now. 1 over 3 plus 2 over 3 equals to 3 over 3. So we say 1 plus 2 to give us 3. Denominator does not change, so we don't say 3 plus 3. And then the answer is 3 over 3. And then if you can express it, you then have to say 3 over 3 equals to 1 whole. This shows your teacher that you know your fractions. So say the answer was 4 over 3 here, then you're going to say equals to 1 whole and 1 over 3. So fractions, you also have to simplify them. And then now we come to you guys doing something. I don't know if it's possible, but no, I don't think it's possible. So I thought maybe it's possible that you can work it out in a book and then take a picture and show us the picture. If you can do that, that will also be cool. So let's do number 3 together. 4 over 7 plus 2 over 7. So what I want to see the working out. Tell me, ma'am, we say plus equals to whatever. So I'll move away from here and then go to the question and answers. Okay, I'll wait for your answers there. So I'm sure you see the sum. Yes, Jerome. Oh, welcome. Okay, now at least I can see who is answering and I can greet you guys. Jerome, you are right. Well done. Yo, I miss talking to you guys. Oh, that one is gone. Okay. And then let's see who else. So Jerome has answered and Jerome got it right. Okay, Audrey, I will speak slower. Did you get that question? So we are adding 4 over 7 plus 2 over 7. Okay, I see someone also answered right, but it's anonymous, so I'm not able to see who. 6 years, Buhle. Oh, praise. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I see that. Thank you, praise, for answering. And then Buhle, you also got it right. 6/7. Okay. I love that you also, yes. Okay. I love the way that you wrote it. Thank you so much. I miss talking to you guys. I miss your voices. Okay. Let me see the other answers. So I see people. Okay. I see they're working out there. Okay, praise, you are right. You got it right. Okay, I see you know also how to write the fraction. Yes, well done, Audrey. You are right also. Yes, Nelly, you are right. Well done. Oh, Jibrail, welcome. You are right also. Okay, ma'am, in which textbook is this? It's Platinum. I'm using Platinum. I've other sources. I also use e-classroom. So I'm using different sources, but you'll get it on Platinum. It's definitely there. They're not the same sums, obviously. Okay, I see anonymous. Okay, I don't see who, but you got it right. Uradile, you got it right. Yes, Audrey, you got it right. Hi, Chloe. Okay, you got it right. Okay, Zaketelo, I don't see the answer there. Okay, Ashlyn, your questions, do we get to do a division of a whole? Okay, Ashlyn, I think you're asking about fraction of a whole. Yes, it's our lesson on today's Tuesday, Wednesday. That's our last lesson on Thursday. We are doing that. It's called the fraction of a whole, ne? So don't do anything. Just wait for that lesson. It's coming. Oh, are you answering the second one? Okay, Jeremy, are you on the second one now? Let me check. So the second one is, oh, okay, you guys, I know you always this fast. So number 4 said 3/6 plus 1/6. Okay, so we can also answer that one. We can also answer that one. Okay, Jeremy, you are right. Now we are answering number 4, ne? Uradilenkele, you are right. Well done. Okay, Neo, yes, the first one, you are right. Oh, I miss you, Neo. Were you on time today? I can't even get to talk to you, but I miss you guys. Sedi, you are right for the first one. Okay, yes, 4/6. Okay, I don't see the name here, but you are right. Yes, Lindo. Hi, Lindo. I miss you. 4/6, you are right. That's for the second one. Okay, I see someone answered, but okay, I don't see who, but you are right, 6/7. Yes, Butle, 3/6 plus 1/6 equals to 4/6. Well done. I love the method also. I think this is Chloe. The C, 4/6, you are right. Praise, 3, yes, 3/6 plus 1/6 equals to 4/6. Well done, you are also right, Praise. Another anonymous, you said 4/6, you're also right. Neo, yes, both the answers are correct. You are right, Neo. Thank you so much for answering. Okay, I answered that one. Okay, Audrey, you are right. Okay, Odelia, all right. You were also right, Odelia. Okay, I see someone, I don't see the name, but you said 6/7 and 4/6, which is also right. Thank you for answering. Okay, Audrey, I've already read. Okay, Sadie, 4/6. Okay, nothing happened to the denominator. Yes, Ashley, you are right. Nothing happened to the denominator. So we don't touch the denominator. It remains the same. Yes. Okay, I think is that, oh, Zeketelo, 6/7. You are right, Zeketelo. Okay, check the next one. You said 6/4, Zeke. It's actually supposed to be the other way around. So correct that one for me, Zeketelo. You are almost there. Zahara, 6/7, yes. The first one, you are right. Well done. Okay, someone also got it right, but I can't see the name. Okay, yes, you got it right. All right. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next activity. All right, we are here. Okay, so the next activity is subtraction. So there we were adding, so we're still subtracting without using diagrams. So I'll explain the first two, and then you guys can do number 3 and number 4. Okay, let me just say grade 5s. I love how you guys are versatile and going to the question and answer. I was feeling a little sad. I even told my principal, I'm like, I'm so sad I can't talk to my grade 5s. But seeing your responses, you know what? It makes my day. So when I say let's go to question and answer, I will dedicate 5 minutes. We go to question and answer, and then we answer. Okay. So subtract these fractions below. 3 over 5 minus 2 over 5. Remember, no more diagrams now. So we do the same thing. So you see, I said this one is the easiest one. So we say take the numerators, and then we say 3 minus 2 equals to 1 over 5. Is it Ashlyn who said, ma'am, nothing happens to the denominator? Thank you, Ashlyn, for repeating that back to me and also to other learners. So nothing happens to the denominator. And then number 2 is 4 over 4 minus 2 over 4, which is equals to 4 minus 2 over 4, which is going to give us 2 over 4. So I don't remember, was it Audrey who said, ma'am, you are moving too fast. Okay, I hope I was slow enough for you now. I take all your suggestions, I take them. And then let's do number 3 now on your own. 6 over 7 minus 3 over 7. And then I think when you guys, it's unfortunate I can't see. If you're able to see the questions, you can answer for 3 and 4. And then because when I go to question and answer, I'm not able to see what I projected. So you can answer number 3. So you can say 3, you write the answer, and then 4, you write the answer. You can also, let me give you just a second to copy that, just a second to copy that. If you were copying it down. And then someone was asking, ma'am, where do we find this? You find it on the Platinum test book. I said we are moving the same way that your teacher would have taught you. That's the same way that I'm doing. So we're doing each and every activity. Of course, I have to add here and there, and I have to use other sources. But if you have Platinum, you are home and away. So what I do sometimes, Platinum, you see, they only give you one question on a topic. And then what I do is I expand that topic, because I know in class we sometimes don't get enough time for you guys to go through all these other things. So what is nice about this, we are moving at our own pace, and then that's why I say you guys should join so that you can get the strategies. Sometimes it will come in an activity and maybe you're at home and your teacher didn't explain, but here I get to explain it more for you and give you that attention. Okay, so I'm sure you have copied the questions. Now I'm going to go back to the question and answer and see what you guys have answered. Remember, we are now subtracting. Okay, someone was still answering. Okay, Kia. Okay, now Kia, we are doing the subtraction one. Okay. Okay, Clau. Okay, so tomorrow, now we're jumping the gun. Tomorrow we are doing how to convert from mixed to improper fractions. And then on Thursday, we are doing fraction of a whole, which most of you are struggling with that. And then on Friday, did you not get the calendar? Because we sent something. On Friday, we are starting on length. So we're starting on measurement and we're going to do length. I hope you answered, Chloe. Okay, remember now we are subtracting. Okay, I still see the answers for the addition one. Okay, I see Praise started answering the subtraction one. So, okay, Praise, I see your answer. I'll just say it's right so that I don't give out the answer to those that are still trying to answer. So, Praise, I see your answer is right. TJ, your answer is right. Jeremy, your answer is right. Okay, you are welcome, Audrey. Yes, I see Jeremy's. Okay, Ria, you are right also. Okay, Zahara, you are still answering the one for addition. Okay, it's fine, it's right. You can now answer the subtraction one. Okay, that's the second one. Jeremy, let me check. The second one is, okay, yes, that's right. Thank you, Jeremy, for answering. Okay, the other anonymous, okay, you are right. Okay, I know yes, Nelly, you are right. I know for safety's sake, maybe you are scared to use the right. Okay, Lindo, you are right. And if it's anonymous, I don't see who it is. And then you're going to feel bad that Mem didn't say my answer was right. Okay, Lindo, you are right. Buhle, 307, 2 over. Okay. Okay, let me see which one you were answering there, Buntle. Oh, you're answering the one of over 8. Okay, it's fine. It's correct. 2 over 8. Yes, you are right, Buntle. You are right, Buntle. Yes, praise. You are right also. Uratile. I see both of them are correct. Okay, I see Audrey, you are right. The first one I can see is correct. Anonymous, you are right also. Okay, Audrey, I have. Okay, I always love praise when you say mama. I think, but it's fine. I'm your mom. Yes, I'm your teacher mom. I always love when you type that. Okay, that's the second one. You are right. It's K. Naledi, you are right. Okay, Audrey, I've seen your answer. It was correct. Okay, Lindo, that's the second one. You are right. Yes, Jerome, I've seen it. Okay, Neo. Okay, all right. I see Neo. Okay, yes, number 3. You are right, Neo. You are right. Okay. Okay, anonymous also. Okay, Naledi, I've seen. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for answering. You guys are still good, even though I can't still hear what you say, but you're still good. I'm proud of you. All right, okay, let me wrap up. And then for the 3 minutes that is left, I'll go to the question and answer. And if you guys have any questions, I'm going to answer them. So let me wrap up and then I'll go back to the question and answer. And then if you have a question, you can pop it there and then I'm going to answer it. So in summary, it is important to note that when we add or subtract fractions, we do not add the denominators. I'm sure you have seen that. I've shown you why and I've shown you how. So the denominator remains the same and we only get to add or subtract the numerators. So we are done. No more adding and subtracting fractions. We are done. No more looking for or finding equivalent fractions. We are done. The only 2 things that are left that I know you don't know and you have to be here is converting from improper to mixed fraction, from mixed fraction to improper. Very important. You should know that because in grade 6 you're going to be asked about that. And then so tomorrow, oh no, not this one. Okay, all right. So tomorrow we are going to look at that. We're going to look at converting from improper fractions to mixed fractions and then vice versa. And then the last lesson that we're going to do is problem solving in fractions. And then someone asked me, the division of a fraction, I think they meant a fraction of a whole number. So we're going to do fraction of a whole. So maybe you've seen 1/3 of 25. No, it can't be 1/3 of 21. 2/4, what is calculate 2/4 of 15? No, 2/4 of 16. So that is what you're going to do these last 2 lessons. And then on Friday, we are starting on a brand new topic. I'm also, I think with the fractions, you have been on them, but I'm sure we have explored all. Now you should understand your fractions. When you go back to school, you should be able to do your fractions now. So next 2 days, we're done with fractions. And then on Friday, we are starting on length. And then for this 1 minute that is left, I'm going to check if there's any questions. And then I think you guys, okay, tell me, Okay, I'm asking a question. Did you guys have a problem with connecting to Teams today? Yes, ma'am, I did. Or yes, no, yes, no. I want to see that. Did you guys have a problem connecting to Teams? Or did you guys have a problem connecting to this class today? Was it difficult for you to connect? Did you struggle? Tell me, did you struggle? Was it easy to connect? I want to hear your views and your, yeah. So tell me, grade fives, did you have a problem connecting? Oh, praise. Thank you. You're also my school child. I'll adopt you, ne? Okay, okay. No, no, no. Amanda, we are done with Zoom, so we are now here on Teams. We no longer use Zoom because of security risks. So with this one, you are more protected. That's why you moved to this one. So did you have a problem connecting to it? Okay, Sinelli still answering. Okay, Zara, you were right. Your answer's there. Okay. All right. I see the answers. Okay, Jerome. Okay. Tell me, did you guys have a problem connecting before we are dismissed? Okay, I see the. Okay, all right. Yes, Ria. Okay, I see. Okay, Anonymous, you were right. Okay, Odelia, you were right. Okay, ma'am, do you have fractions we can do after the lessons? Okay, I'm sure you guys have test books at home. I'm also going to post some worksheets. So I'll post some worksheets and then you can be able to access the worksheets, but I'm not sure about the copyright. I'll check the copyright and then post some worksheets. Even if I don't do that, on your test books, term 2, fractions is the topic. So you find fractions there. Okay, I don't see, okay, the person saved themselves as ma'am. Okay, it's fine, Anonymous, okay? Yes, you are right. Butle, ma'am, okay, you're asking, ma'am, are some of the things we did today on the Viva test books? Yes, Butle, they are on the Viva test book because we are doing what you guys are supposed to be doing in term 2. I hope you are answered, Buntle. Okay, Nelly, is it okay? No problems. Nelly said yes. Okay, praise. All right, no problems. All right. Bye, Lindo. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, Jeremy, thank you. So you did not have any problems connecting. Okay, Ria, I see you didn't have problems. Okay, Lindo, you did. If you can ask your parents to go to our Twitter account, Lindo, and everyone who is listening, there are instructions there on how you can connect easily. Okay, Naledi was answering that one. Okay, all right. Okay. Okay, guys, I guess that brings us to the end of the lesson. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Be on time. We're starting at 11, but then if you can be here, remember what you did on Friday. We had a nice chat. So if you can be here maybe 10 minutes before, we'll be able to talk before the lesson starts. So be safe, always wash your hands and stay at home. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow.